think this is the best 2+2 Aston Martin has ever made. Wow, this is what we have, the Aston Martin DB11. Aston Martin has been known for its sheer beauty, the exquisite lines, its aesthetics. And look at that, this is a brand new Aston Martin DB11 MY18, a 2018 model, V8 twin turbo, featuring large 20-inch rims up front and 20-inch rims at the rear. This thing here handles and sounds fabulous, like no Aston Martin before. Right now, what Aston Martin has done is they've agreed with AMG for AMG to build its V8 twin turbo motors, 4 litres, shared with the C63S, and this thing sounds like a killer, even more so than the C63 AMG. This is fabulous. Some say it's even better than the AMG GT. I totally agree. Being a 4-seater 2+2, this thing is magnificent. What Aston Martin has done is they've used their race technology to build aerodynamics that flow from the front there, through the vents here, goes right through the sides, comes out, goes right underneath in here, and then comes out through the rear there where the boot lid is. It's unbelievable. The sheer passion and the technology that Aston Martin has invested in this car is second to none. This thing invites you in. The minute you put your finger here with the key in your pocket, that pops out, it greets you nicely, the doors open upwards so you know you're not going to hit the gutter. Then you're mesmerized by the sheer luxurious interior. This is typical of an English car, English handmade, completely hand quilted leather. Here we have carpet, very lush, soft carpets, leather everywhere. Fabulous stitching. It is craftsmanship at its finest. And what more than Aston Martin? And this car here is a car that pleases the eye. You won't find many other vehicles that look aesthetically and sound as amazing as this DB11. Right now, I'm really excited. I just need to jump in and go through it. But before we do all that, I better show you that engine bay. There's one thing that I'd like to point out about the engine bay, and that is the way that the engine bay opens up. It's as simple as pressing that button, and this aluminium piece is so light. It opens itself up, then you're greeted by the V8 twin turbo motor that just sits there. It's more mid-mounted than being a front-mounted motor, as you can see. It's pulled back. We've got a crossbar here that holds the suspension together in line. And when you look in the wheel wells, you can clearly see that the suspension is all exposed. So this car is built with race precision quality. And look at this. To close it, all you have to do is push it down lightly. You don't need 2 people, and it closes itself, exactly like a soft door close. It's unbelievable. This is unbelievable. First car to feature this that I've ever driven and ever reviewed. I've got to show you these electrics. When you hop into the seat, being a 6'1" person, I clearly have heaps of space here. My head doesn't touch the roof whatsoever. I can sit comfortably here. It's unbelievable. You're greeted by electronic dash, so it's a TFT screen. Then over here, you've got another screen, which is the center entertainment screen. So when we start the car, you press the engine start button, starts up, you're greeted by a DB11 there. And when you look at it, you can see that Aston Martin adopted the Mercedes-Benz technology. So you've got that screen here, which is also, you've got a pad here that works like a mouse pad down below, and then you can select different options and you just play with it like that. It's quite easy, and you know that it's going to work. Why? Because it's been used in Mercedes-Benz. And then you've got the maps here, you've got the radio. It's all excellent. It all works. It's very functional. And a better feature that we have is that everything is also voice activated. You've got sports suspension, so you can put the engine and gearbox in sports mode, which is simple. You press the S button and you can select whichever mode you like, as you can see on the screen. And then for the suspension, you can press the suspension button and you can have the suspension in comfort mode, so it's nice and soft. And then you can have the engine and exhaust note in loud. Air conditioning, everything works, everything's finished to perfection. The sound quality is amazing. You've got a Bang & Olufsen sound system, it's sensational. This car, yeah, this car is pretty good. I really like this car. If I jump into the back seat, we can see how much room we have. And here we are. I'm sitting in the back. I'm squished. It reminds me of a 911. A person like me can't sit in the back, so it's not really a 2+2 for an adult. It's a 2+2 to have 2 kids in the rear. Definitely not somebody that's 6'1", 245 pounds. No. Feel like a gorilla cramped up. I'm actually stuck. So it is a small car. It's a coupe, 2+2 coupe. Oh, this is very awkward. You really don't want to have adults traveling with you and then have got to exit a car like that. It really isn't luxurious, nor is it elegant or classy whatsoever. But this is the Aston Martin DB11. It's time to jump in and take it for a spin. So 503 brake horsepower in the V8. The V12 has 600 brake horsepower. 0 to 100 in this one here, 4 seconds flat. The V12 is 3.9 seconds. This sounds amazing. Twin turbo V8, C63 AMG S engine, but the exhaust note is a lot better than the AMG. I can tell you that, I can assure you that much. This sounds so much more precise. It's got a lot more grunt. And this car here, mid-range power is phenomenal. From 3,000 RPM to 5,000, it just cools. And the pops and crackles that it produces is unlike any other car. Seriously, they've given an AMG motor, and what Aston Martin has done was utilize that motor and make it even better. They made it brilliant. They tuned that exhaust note precisely to what it should be. It's unbelievable. That's how good it sounds. It's sensational, and the handling is absolutely phenomenal. It's very stiff. The steering is a lot stiffer compared to the V12 when I've driven that. It takes corners a lot better. Don't forget that this chassis here weighs 150 kilograms less than the V12 motor. That's 115 kilograms. Just talking about 230 pounds. It's unbelievable. That's amazing. Amazing. So it feels a lot more nimble, a lot lighter. It doesn't feel like you're in a big car at all. I'm accelerating and pulling away and the car screams like nothing, like nothing else. Aston Martin really has created the best James Bond car to date. I think this is the best 2+2 Aston Martin has ever made. A lot better than the DB9 that it replaces. And did I say Bond? James Bond. That's what I feel like today. A modern version of James Bond. Let's go back to the suspension. So what they've done is, compared to the V12, they've stiffened up the rear end, so it's a lot more stiffer now, and this car feels a lot more planted. When you take corners, it handles a lot better. A lot better. And the seats in here and the comfort and the ergonomics are spot on, exactly as an Englishman wants. This is English craftsmanship at its finest. You sit in the seats, they're so plush, they're soft, they feel amazing. The leather everywhere, and that leather smell is phenomenal. The aura that this car produces is just wow, wow. I really like the Aston Martin DB11. And to me, it's possibly the most comfortable GT car I've driven so far. in 2018. We've just started the year and here we are in the Aston Martin DB11. It is absolutely sublime. The comfort is up there. When you think of a 911, you'd say, okay, you can purchase a 911. Well, at this price point, you're looking at a turbo, so it's over a turbo. The turbo has a lot more grunt, a lot more pulling power. It actually is faster, 2.7 seconds 0 to 100. This is 4 seconds, but this does it a lot more comfortably and with a bit more fun. The sound is just exactly what you want in a car like this. You want to sit on this car here on a Sunday or Saturday weekend, take it out for a nice cruise. You know, if you have 2 kids, you can throw them out in the back, your wife in the passenger seat, and this thing here just flies. This on a highway is absolutely gorgeous. The sound will keep your ears wanting more. It's just thriving for you to push it. Each time you put your foot down like that, it throws you back and it just pops and crackles. It's just so much fun and it's so quick. It's unbelievable for an Aston Martin. This is the first time Aston Martin has implemented the AMG motor in its range, and this here does it perfectly, and I couldn't want anything any better than the Aston Martin DB11.